1. Introduction. My name is Ginny. I will tell you my story. I was 22 years old when I married Greg. It was a big decision for me, and one I thought about often. My mother, Ruth, did not agree with my choice. She believed I was too young to get married. Many people told me the same thing. They said I should wait and experience more of life before settling down. My mother often warned me, "Love can be blind, Ginny. You need to see clearly before you promise forever to someone." She worried a lot about me. She wanted me to finish my studies and travel to different places. She thought I needed to truly know myself first. But I felt different. I thought I knew enough about what I wanted and who I was. I had a very strong belief in love's power. I believed that if two people truly loved each other, everything else would be easy. I thought love was enough to solve all problems and overcome any difficulty. It was a powerful feeling, and I trusted it completely with all my heart. I did not listen to the warnings from my mother or others. I felt sure in my heart that my decision was right. My mother's words, though full of care and good intentions, did not change my mind. I was ready for this new chapter in my life with Greg. Our romance was very fast, almost like a dream. We met in a small bookshop on a rainy Tuesday afternoon. I was looking for a book, and he was reaching for the same one. We smiled and talked for hours. From that first meeting, I knew Greg was special. He was 5 years older than me, 27 years old. He was kind, always listening carefully to what I said. He was smart, speaking about many interesting topics. Most importantly, he made me feel safe, like I had found my true home. Every day with him was exciting. We spent all our free time together, going for long walks and sharing our dreams for the future. Just 3 months after we met, Greg asked me to marry him. It was a warm evening, and we were sitting by the river. He looked into my eyes and asked the important question. My heart beat very fast. I did not need to think or hesitate even for a moment. I said yes immediately. I was so happy, filled with a great joy. That night, when I told my mother about our engagement, she cried. She cried from worry, not from happiness. Still, I held on to my strong belief. I thought our love was powerful enough for anything. I believed it would protect us and make our future bright. I was certain that with Greg, I could face any challenge. Our love felt like a complete answer to everything. 2. A storm in our home. Married life began. It was not like the happy stories Ginny had read in books or seen in films. She had dreamed of days filled with laughter and easy conversations, with every moment feeling special. Instead, a new kind of reality began to show itself. The first few weeks were sweet, but soon, small problems grew bigger. They were two different people learning to live as one, and it was harder than Ginny had thought it would be. Living together every day brought many surprises. Arguments started over very simple things. Who would pay for the groceries this week? Whose turn was it to clean the kitchen after dinner? Why was the living room always messy? Sometimes the disagreements were about money. Greg often said they needed to save, but Ginny sometimes wanted to buy something new for their home to make it feel more welcoming. These small talks often turned into bigger fights. They both felt tired and a little sad after these arguments. Greg worked many hours every day. He left early in the morning and came home late at night. Ginny often found herself alone in their new apartment. The silence felt heavy around her. She missed the easy company she had imagined for married life. A feeling of loneliness grew inside her heart. She felt far away from Greg, even when he was in the same room. He seemed busy with his own thoughts and worries, which he did not share. Sometimes the loneliness was too much to bear. Ginny would go into the bathroom, close the door, and let the tears come quietly. She did not want Greg to see her sadness. She wanted to be strong for him and for their marriage, but inside, her heart felt heavy. She wondered if this difficult feeling was what married life was truly like for everyone. It was a new and difficult emotion for her. Another thing that made Ginny feel distant was Greg's family. He never talked about them. When she asked him questions, he always changed the subject to something else. It felt like a hidden part of his life that he did not want to share. Ginny wanted to know everything about her husband, but this part of him was a complete mystery. One evening, after a quiet dinner, she asked him directly, "Tell me about your family, Greg." His face became serious and a little cold. He looked away from her and said, "They are not part of my life, Ginny." His words were short, and they made Ginny feel even more alone. She did not know what to say after that. The secret created a small wall between them. Despite these difficulties and the growing challenges, Ginny and Greg still loved each other. They wanted their marriage to work well. One quiet night, after a long and honest talk, they made a promise. They would try harder to understand each other's feelings and needs. They agreed to talk about their problems openly, not hide them. They promised to work together to fight for their love and their future, and not against each other. It was a difficult start, but they both hoped for better days to come. They believed in their love even when it was very hard. 3. The stepmother's contract. One evening, Greg told me we were going to visit his family. This was a surprise. He had never spoken much about them before, always saying they were not part of his life. Now, he was taking me to meet them. We drove for a long time, passing big gates and beautiful gardens. Our car stopped in front of a very large, rich house. It was a mansion, much bigger than any home I had ever seen. The lights were bright, but the house felt cold. I felt nervous as we walked to the big front door. Inside, the house was grand. Expensive paintings hung on the walls, and the furniture looked very old and valuable. A woman came to meet us. This was Clara, Greg's stepmother. She was tall and wore fine clothes. Her smile did not reach her eyes. It was a cold, hard smile like ice. She looked at me for a long moment, making me feel small. She did not offer a warm welcome. Instead, she simply looked at Greg, then back at me with a strange expression. Then, Clara gave me a piece of paper. "This is for you to sign, Ginny," she said. Her voice was smooth but distant. I took the paper. My hands felt a little shaky. I started to read it carefully. It was a contract. As I read the words, my heart began to beat very fast. The contract said that if Greg died, I would not get any of his money, not one penny. It was a clear statement. I looked up from the paper, my eyes wide with shock. How could she ask me to sign something like this? Did she think I married Greg only for his wealth? A deep ache started in my chest. My love for Greg was real and honest. It had nothing to do with money. I wanted to look at Greg, to see his face, to hear him say something. He stood next to me, his jaw tight. He looked angry, but he did not speak. He stayed silent. His silence hurt me more than Clara's cold words. I felt tears in my eyes, but I tried hard not to let them fall. I picked up a pen. My hand was shaking badly as I wrote my name on the line. I signed the contract. It was done. Clara took the paper back with her same icy smile. The rest of the evening passed in a blur. I remember polite, quiet talk, but my mind was far away. I felt a heavy weight in my stomach. The journey home was silent. Greg did not speak, and I did not know what to say. The contract was a cold, hard truth that now sat between us. It made me question many things. This moment had changed something inside me. It felt like a part of my heart had broken. 4. A dangerous secret. Days later, something strange happened. I was in the big house, walking past a room. The door was open a little. I heard a voice. It was Clara, Greg's stepmother. She was talking on the phone. I did not mean to listen, but her words were clear. They stopped me. Clara was speaking about Greg's father's will. She said that the will had a very important rule. If Greg was not married, he would get nothing. No money, no property, nothing at all from his father's fortune. But if Greg was married, he would receive a large amount of money. A fortune, she said. My heart felt cold. It felt like it stopped beating for a moment. I stood very still. A terrible thought came into my mind. It was a dark and painful thought. Did Greg marry me because of this rule? Did he need a wife to get his father's money? Was our quick marriage not about love, but about an inheritance? This idea was a shock. It hurt me deeply. I had believed that Greg loved me. I thought our romance was real. I thought he asked me to marry him because he wanted to spend his life with me. But now, I wondered if it was all a plan for money. I remembered my mother's warnings. She said I was too young. She said love could be blind. I remembered the contract Clara made me sign. It all started to make sense in a very sad way. Clara wanted to make sure I got no money, even if Greg used me to get his. A feeling of betrayal filled me. It was like a sharp knife in my heart. I loved Greg so much, but this secret made me doubt everything. My happy dreams about our future started to break into small pieces. I wanted to run away. I wanted to scream. I wanted to ask Greg, why? Why did you do this? But I could not move. My feet stayed on the floor. I stayed quiet, hiding behind the door. I could not let Clara know I had heard her. I could not let Greg know I knew his secret. The words kept repeating in my head. If he married, he would get a fortune. These words changed everything. They changed how I saw Greg. They changed how I saw our marriage. Inside me, something important broke. It was my trust. It was my belief. It was the pure joy I felt when I first said yes to Greg. Now, a heavy sadness took its place. I felt alone with this dangerous secret. It was a burden that weighed heavily on my heart. Every day after that felt different. I looked at Greg, and I saw a man with a secret. I saw a man who might have used me. The love was still there, but it was mixed with pain and confusion. I did not know what to do. I did not know how to live with this new truth. My world felt upside down. I kept the secret, but it was slowly breaking me. 5, the other woman. One day, a feeling of unease started to grow inside me. I was walking near a busy street when I saw Greg. He was sitting at an outdoor cafe, talking to a woman. They were laughing, and she gently touched his arm. My heart felt a sudden, sharp pain. Jealousy filled me, mixed with a cold fear. Was this the secret Greg kept? Was this why he seemed distant sometimes? I quickly walked away before they could see me. My mind raced with questions, and my imagination brought up many bad thoughts. For the next few days, I could not stop thinking about what I saw. I felt confused and hurt. I wanted to ask Greg, but I was afraid of the answer. Then, I decided I needed to know the truth. One evening, I saw Greg leave our apartment alone, looking serious. I decided to follow him. My heart thumped loudly in my chest as I walked a safe distance behind him. The streets were busy, and the city lights shone brightly. I tried to stay hidden in the shadows, hoping he would not turn around. He walked for a long time, then stopped in front of a tall, modern building. It had many windows and looked like an office. He went inside. I waited outside, my body cold despite the warm evening. Many minutes passed, and I felt more and more worried. What was he doing in there? Was he truly meeting another woman for a secret romance? The thought made me want to cry. Finally, after what felt like hours, Greg came out. The same woman was with him. She was holding a large briefcase. As they said goodbye, I heard her speak. "The court date is set for next month," she said. "We will fight for your rights." Court, not a romantic dinner. My mind suddenly cleared. She was not a lover, she was a lawyer. Greg was not seeing her because he loved her. He was seeing her for legal reasons. He was fighting his stepmother, Clara, in court. He was trying to protect me and our marriage from her control and her unfair contract. All the fear and jealousy left me. Tears came to my eyes, but they were not tears of sadness. They were tears of relief and understanding. Greg was not betraying me, he was protecting me. He was fighting for us. 6. A scandal breaks out. Clara was very angry when she knew the truth. She wanted to hurt me and Greg. She used her money and power. She called many newspaper reporters. She told them many lies about me. She said I was a bad person. She told them I only wanted Greg's money. She called me a gold digger. She paid the newspapers to print these stories. Soon, the newspapers printed big headlines. My picture was on the front page. The words said, "Young woman marries rich man for money." They wrote that I planned everything. They said I tricked Greg. This was all false. Many people believed it. My name was everywhere. People talked about me on TV. I felt very bad. My hands shook when I saw the news. My heart felt heavy. I did not want to leave our apartment, but I had to go to work. At my job, people looked at me. They whispered. I heard my name. Some coworkers stopped talking to me. Going to the store was hard. Strangers stared at me. I felt very alone, even with Greg. I felt shame. I wanted to hide. Every day was difficult. I cried many times at night. Greg saw how much I was hurting. He became very angry with Clara. He knew he had to act. He decided to speak to the public. He called a meeting with many reporters. This was a press conference. Many cameras and lights were there. Greg stood in front of everyone. He held my hand tightly. He looked at all the faces. He spoke in a clear, strong voice. He said, "Ginny did not marry me for money. She married me because we love each other. Our love is real. These stories are not true. My stepmother, Clara, is spreading these lies. She is trying to hurt us." He looked at me with love in his eyes. He told everyone he would always protect me. He said our marriage was built on true love. He did not care what people said. He only cared about me and our happiness. His brave words helped me feel stronger. It was still a very hard time for us, but we faced the scandal together. 7. Choosing each other again. The difficult times slowly ended. The court case was over. It was a long and hard fight for Greg. He did not win everything. He lost some of his family's money, a portion of his inheritance. It was a big amount, but Greg did not seem sad. He told me that some things were much more important than money. Clara, his stepmother, was very angry about the court's decision. She left the country soon after, and we did not see her again. It felt like a dark cloud had finally moved away from our lives. Life changed a lot for us. We decided to leave the big house. It was a place of many bad memories and much stress. We wanted a completely new start. We found a small, simple house by the sea. It was not a mansion, but it felt like a real home, full of warmth and peace. The air was fresh, and we could hear the gentle sound of the waves every night. It was a truly peaceful place to live. Living in the new house was very different. We did not have many expensive things, but we had more time together. We cooked together, walked on the sandy beach, and talked for hours. We learned to listen to each other better. The old arguments about money and worries about Clara were gone. Our days became full of laughter and quiet, happy moments. We felt closer and stronger than ever before. It was like a heavy weight had been lifted from our shoulders. I realized that the wealth had brought us more problems than true happiness. Without it, our love grew stronger and more honest. We understood that our relationship was the most valuable thing we had. We chose each other, not the money, not the big house, and not the fancy life. This clear choice made us truly happy and content. One day, my mother came to visit us. She saw our small house by the sea. She saw Greg and me laughing and holding hands. She watched us as we made a simple dinner together. She saw the peace and happiness in our eyes. For the first time in a very long time, she smiled a real, warm smile. "Now I see you are happy, Ginny," she said softly. Her words meant so much to me. It felt like she finally understood our love. Her approval was a special gift. It felt like we were getting married again, but this time with open eyes and a clear heart. We had chosen each other again, for real, and that was enough. 8. Love at 30. 8 years have passed since I married Greg. I am now 30 years old, and Greg is 35. Our life today looks very different from what I imagined when I was a young woman of 22. We are still living in our small home by the sea. It is a quiet place, filled with light and the sound of waves. Our life is not always perfect, but it is full of love and mutual choice. Sometimes we still have small disagreements like any couple. We might argue about what to cook for dinner or which movie to watch. But these arguments are different now. We listen to each other more carefully. We understand that choosing each other means working together, even when things are hard. We talk about our feelings, and we always find a way to make up. We laugh a lot, and sometimes Greg still surprises me by dancing with me in the kitchen. Every day, we choose to build our life together, step by step. Our marriage is stronger than I ever thought possible. We have learned many important lessons over the years. We learned that true love is not just a feeling like in storybooks. It is also a decision. It is about trust, kindness, and helping each other through everything. We share our dreams for the future and our worries about today. Greg is my best friend. He knows me better than anyone else in the world. We have grown up together, facing life's challenges as a team. When I married Greg, I was only 22. Many people thought I was too young. My mother worried a lot. She thought I did not know enough about life or about love. And it is true, those first few years were very difficult for us. We faced many problems and made some mistakes along the way. There were times when I doubted everything, even my own choices. But looking back now, marrying young was the right decision for us. It made us stronger. We learned to face problems together, side by side. We built our life from the ground up with honesty and love as our foundation. The hard times showed us what was truly important. They showed us that our love was real and strong, not just a dream that could easily break. We learned to value each other more than anything else. Now, at 30, I truly understand what love means. It is not just the excitement of a new romance. It is the deep comfort of knowing someone completely. It is the peace of being truly accepted for who you are. I am so thankful for every step of our journey, even the difficult ones. If I could go back in time, I would marry Greg again. I would choose him every single time. Our love story is still being written, and I am happy to write it with him.